What's up guys? Conrad here with another video, and today I'd like to talk about this book right here. A swell addition to the Assouline book collection, James Bond Destinations by Daniel Pembrey. So Assouline is a very high-end publisher which specializes in luxurious and elegant coffee table books which are filled with stunning images of anything to do with art, fashion, design, travel and accessories. Founded in 1994 by Prosper and Martine Assouline, the company has its origins in Paris, and so it pretty much began as the couple had trips to the south of France in which they were simply mesmerized by a hotel they were staying at, La Colombe d'Or. And so their experience there provided the inspiration for their first publication, and thus the brand Assouline was born. Similarly to Taschen books, the books themselves are just as artistic and beautiful as the subject matter they cover. And they're not particularly word heavy, but they let the high quality pictures speak for themselves. And some of these books are absolutely huge, and they're almost like a piece of furniture, which add well to the decorum of, let's say, a living room. It's more about being lost in the experience rather than being engaged in the story, just like with many other photography books. You can just sit by the fireplace with a good Assouline book and just take in the wonderful photography of beautiful environments. So generally speaking, these books aren't exactly cheap. I mean, sometimes they range from around £100 to even £1,000. It's almost like art collecting in itself. So if you walk down London, St. James Piccadilly, you'll find the flagship boutique store of Maison Assouline, which has a very fancy interior and also its own bar and cafe. Sometimes I go down there and check out the travel books, which are nicely laid out on the table. And you can just simply get lost in these pictures. You feel like you're in the environment due to the sheer scope of the pictures as well as the size of the pages themselves. As much as I admire Assouline books on travel, cars and nice watches, I wasn't exactly rushing to buy one of these immediately, until I saw one based on James Bond. So being both a Bond fan and a travel fanatic, I just knew I had to at least take a look at it. I would also like to give a quick mention to Taschen James Bond Archives, a very detailed, comprehensive look at the making of all the Bond films. Tons of pictures of behind-the-scenes set photos, storyboards, promotional materials and designs. Another book I want to mention is Bond Photographed by Terry O'Neill, showing plenty of spontaneous photography and iconic shots on the set of the more classic Bond films. All these books are rather large and very heavy, so if I'm going to purchase a book like this, the presentation needs to be special. So here we have a silk hardcover, 3 kilograms, 328 pages, 233 illustrations, and it costs around £100. I was very much drawn to the design as well as the subject matter of this book. It appeals to Bond fans, travel fans, as well as casual film fans. Of course, I was already familiar with many of the images within this book, but it was nice to have them so elegantly presented. Bond has travelled all over the globe, and these films have served as promotion for these different amazing locations. They draw in tourists, and they serve as somewhat of a window into different cultures that otherwise you may have not been so familiar with. These settings are integral to the stories, but they also provide the tone and the atmosphere of the films themselves. Even I was inspired to go all the way up to the Swiss mountains just so I can see Piz Gloria. The movies provides a sense of travel inspiration. Back in the days of the early Bond films, travel wasn't so easily accessible as it is today. It was kind of a big deal, and you needed quite a bit of money back then for it. But, you know, now they serve as somewhat of a bucket list for today's generation of travelers. But yeah, back then, it was a form of escapism, just watching those films on the big screen. So, if Bond has been there, then you probably want to check it out. Well, maybe not all places, of course. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the book itself. So first we have the cover. Very nice texture, slight gradient here. Very solid as well. So all the locations around the globe featured in the movies. So we have an introduction. Very high quality imagery here. First we have Jamaica. Featured in Dr. No, Live and Let Die, No Time to Die. This is Bond's home. It's got Venice. Featured in a few as well. I love the scope of these images and the colors. Such high definition. Harmless. Istanbul. A shot here. The deserts. Egypt. Got some quotes here as well to give a bit of a context about locations and where they fit into the story. Got India. Very nice here. Lake Como. Mexico City. Scotland, featured of course in Skyfall. As well as other films as well. The Alps, a lot of skiing scenes up there. Place Gloria, Switzerland. Monte Carlo, it's the casino scene in GoldenEye. A shot here in the suit, double-breasted. Oh wow. This. Love when the image expands over 2 pages. It's a lot of scope. Thailand. It's doubling for Beijing. There's a Saigon here. Saigon, I think it was doubling for. Filming in Thailand, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, on the back, nice quote here. These destinations are not just backgrounds, or even backgrounds that simply inform characters. In our movies, they are characters. Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli, 007 producers. So there you have it, guys. A really cool and beautifully designed book. Plenty of fantastic imagery to admire, which show an appreciation for the production of all the Bond films, as well as the environments they were filmed in. It's a heartfelt tribute to the legacy of 007, as well as a celebration of the different cultures that the films have explored. And the films have updated thematically with the times, but the heart and soul of the countries remain the same. So this book can provide you with some fresh travel ideas. It can serve as a great Christmas present as well as a birthday present, so I'm sure most guys will really appreciate it. And so with that being said, hopefully you found this video interesting. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.